Well, hello, everyone. We are so glad to see you. And we are so excited today. We have a special guest with us. His name is Allan Asplin. He's sold over 6,000 homes since being licensed. And Allan, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Good morning. I'm really glad you found me and got me on your show. I appreciate that. I guess I struggle in real estate because I'm really much an introvert. I don't like to put myself out there, like even having my picture and stuff is hard for me. So for me to talk about myself and what we do it's hard on me. So but I do appreciate you acknowledging me and bringing me on your show.
Awesome. Well, I think it's funny because everyone thinks that I'm an extreme extrovert. And I feel like I used to be a really big extrovert. And now I've gotten to the place where I'm a lot more introverted.
That's right.
Yes. So let's talk for just a second. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Tell us a little bit about where you're getting your clients from.
So we've been in business for a long time. Mom started the company before me. She passed away when I was in the business for about 1 year. And we at the time, we were very much traditional marketing, which is heavy flyers, print, billboards. And now we've kind of transitioned to more past clients and referrals. So probably about 70% of our business comes from that. And we really feel that that's kind of our big niche to our business, is having those strong relationships with clients. And it's really, whether been through many times where it's slower markets, better markets, but it's always given us consistent results by having those strong relationships that people can trust us. And certainly our marketing's changed now. We do a lot of TV marketing, and that really, I think, elevates us beyond what the average agent's doing in our local community. Because it's everybody, I feel, is doing social media. Everybody's doing billboards and bus benches and flyers, but only a select few can put out a good TV commercial or radio commercial.
So I want to talk a little bit, because one of the things that I think people are forgetting about, I've talked to a lot of people and they've said the phones have stopped ringing. Literally, like it went from the last 2 years was like, oh my gosh, so many people. And now it's real. The phones have stopped ringing. And so what they've had to do is go back through all the leads that have come back in the last 2 years, and they're having great success with that. So I'd like you to talk a little bit about what you're doing to kind of go back through those old leads that have come in and how to revive them.
Yeah, good question. And we've struggled with that, but we found success. Like we have 20 some agents that are, we tell them, get out there and call your sphere of influence. We call it your top 50, which is your top 50 people who are in a good position to send you referrals or send you referrals throughout the year. So it may not be your best friend may not be in your top 50 because maybe they're not in a good position to send you business, or they haven't sent you business. And we find it hard to make those calls. Like if you haven't talked to someone that you wanted on a CMA 2 years ago, if you haven't talked to, it's hard to call them out of the blue and say, hey, you ready to sell your house now? Or, hey, do you know anybody who wants to buy or sell a house now? And so we give them excuses to call. And so we'll put on events. This morning, we're talking about what we're going to do for our Easter event for clients, but a very successful Christmas party for our clients. And so our agents end up being able to call these people. So they'll make 200, 300 calls to their clients as far as prospects go and their sphere of influence, not to call them to see if they're ready to sell their house, but calling them to invite them to the party. And inevitably the conversations go from, you'd think it'd be just a quick call. Hey, do you want to come to our party? But usually it ends up being a 5 or 10 minute conversation, catching up. And then they say, well, yeah, we're thinking we're going to do something next year, or we're thinking of doing something in the spring. Can you make sure you follow up with us then? So we take the approach of being their friend first and just acquainting ourselves and not talking real estate. And it makes it easier for our guys to get on the phone and make those calls.
So talk a little bit about what you can do, like give us a conversation that you would do. So I know you're really big into events. But, people right now are like, I got to save money. I don't want to spend the money on events.
Right.
What would be the cheapest event that they can do? Because here's the thing. People need to understand only maybe 5% of the people you invite are going to even come to the freaking event. So
that's the best part.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna spend so much money. No, they're not freaking paying. Who cares?
And that's the best part about the events. They are by far one of the least expensive marketing efforts we do, because the goal is not to have them come to the event. People are busy. A lot of people won't come. But again, it's an excuse for us to get a hold of them. So for our Easter one, we're talking about we're going to have an Easter bunny, and we're going to have an egg hunt, and we'll have like some small finger food. The whole thing will probably cost us less than $1,000 to do it. But we'll reach out to the whole community for it. And, it also shows that we're doing things in the community, not just pressuring them, call for your free market evaluation today. Here we are, we're giving back to the community in a good way for people who want to come out and get their picture taken with the Easter bunny, or just come by and say hi. But the point is not so much, and we stress this in our office, the point is not to have them come out to the events. The event's not the big part. The big part is getting on the phone and talking to people that you wouldn't normally be talking to.
So I want you to talk for just a second about this Easter one, because this is perfect. They've got plenty of time, but I really want you to do it even like if someone wanted to do it really low budget, right? Because everyone's trying to save money right now. And to be honest, if you do the event for $200 or $1,000, you're getting the same bang for your buck. So let's pretend someone says, okay, I'm going to do an event. It's $200. That's it. Yep. How do I do it? Because listen, you can do this for just a very little money and then get one of the preferred vendors that we have. Maybe they can help sponsor a little bit of it, get the title company to do it a little bit, the mortgage person to do a little bit. So give us exact steps. This is perfect timing. We're going to do an Easter event. The whole thing.
Yeah, it really is a low key event. So super easy to initiate, because if you only have to have an Easter bunny. This is the first year we're actually talking about having one. But we feel we're going to try it and see how it is. So either rent a suit or rent a bunny. And if you want, so we're talking about renting a suit and just having one of our agents. We're going to do it as a 3-hour event. So it'll be from 1 till 4. We're going to do it at our office. We talked about having it like off site, but we feel it's better to have people come by our office so they get to know what, the kind of the business side. In today's world, not too many people see our office, and we have a nice office to show off. So if you have them come by and see what the office looks like, and have that interaction. So, and the only things we're going to be buying, it will be
but you can get a bunny suit. You can actually, I just put one in the chat. You can literally get a bunny suit on Amazon for $79. Literally, and it's cute. My husband did it for our one, and literally you can have it every year. You use the same bunny suit over and over and over again.
Yeah. Get your office to buy a bunny suit, and all the agents can pitch it on it, and everyone can use it.
Yes. And so, and let's say, even if you did it at a restaurant, right? Like if you did it at a restaurant where you because talk about easy, right? You could just provide a few little appetizers, but keep going with what you would do.
And it depends where you live. Like, I mean, we do a summer / fall event where we do it outside just at a park. And again, that doesn't cost us anything. And because we're not bringing in 1,000 people, we'll be lucky to get 100 or 200 people. So it's not as big as it may seem. We'll reach out to probably 2,000 or 3,000 people, but the amount of people that actually show up is smaller. But that again,
when you reach out, what are the forms of communication that you're using to reach out to these people?
So phone is first. So the first thing is we try to make contact via phone. If phone doesn't work, then we text, and then everyone gets an email. Actually, 3 emails. You'll get initial email, a reminder email, and then another reminder email. And that what it also does for our Christmas party, we run it. We do calendars every year. We've done calendars every year for forever, but now it's expensive. It probably costs about $3 with postal for calendars, and we use it to update our database every year. So we run about 5,000 to 6,000 people on our database, and we are sending out a number of calendars every year, people who either passed away or moved and we have no contact with them. So it allows us to keep a good updated database by doing these things. So if we call them and they say, oh, so-and-so passed away, unfortunately, okay, well then we take them off the list. Or maybe they sold and we didn't know about it. And it also allows us to update the list. So it keeps so for the Easter thing, same thing. If anything's changed, we update our database with it. So we're making sure that we're always very clean in our database and not soliciting people who don't exist or have moved already.
So do you use anything? So, there's something called not Sky Dial. What is it?
Like an auto dialer or something.
What is it?
Slide
Dialer. Yes, thank you. Slydial.com, where you can literally send a voicemail. Thank you. It's slydial.com, and you can do a ringless voicemail personalized. So you set up a voicemail and you'd be like, hey, I just wanted to invite you this week to,
right.
Our event. Are you doing that?
No.
And is it effective? Are you just actually
No.
are you personally calling? Or are you having admin call?
No, personally calling. So it's extremely important, and that's what we stress, that is making that connection. And it's a lot of work, but at the same time, if you're not busy right now running around doing CMAs, it's taking a block of time to reconnect with people. And I feel that, not only I feel, the feedback I get from my agents is that they enjoy it. And most agents are in the business because they like dealing with people. Majority of people deal with family and friends, or friends of friends. And it's just it's a nice way to connect with people. So I'll connect with people that I may have not talked to for a couple of years, but it's like friends from elementary school, where you can kind of get on the phone and have a half an hour conversation. And then the end result is, when it comes time of them thinking of selling their house in 2 years or 3 years, who are they going to think of first? Well, more than likely it's going to be me, because we have a better connection.
And now, a word from our sponsor, Canzel Realty. Run your business your way, only at Canzel Realty. You can have all of the freedom with none of the standard real estate red tape. As an agent at Canzel, you'll have the ability to be on a 100% split with no yearly or monthly tech fees. You'll get access to revenue share and stock award options, top-tier leads program options, access to a local broker in every major city instead of just one for the whole state, a local circle leader to help you and your business, access to incredible national speakers and training, an unmatched suite of free technology, KB Core CRM, BrokerBuck, BrokerMint, and more. At Canzel, you get the best of both worlds. All the technology, revenue sharing, and equity awards of a national firm, combined with the close-knit feel and support of a local firm. Build your real estate business your way, only at Canzel Realty.
So with most of the people I've heard from say that Evite is a really good place because people get their emails from Evite, and they get the text messages from Evite, so that when they're inviting these people to the events, the people who are doing these events, once a quarter or once a month, and they're consistent with it, are having the best results. Is there a platform that you're using, or kind of a system that you go, okay, I'm going to make one phone call, then I'm also going to do it on Evite, then I'm going to, what's kind of the plan that you use besides the phone call?
Yeah, for us, like if the phone call doesn't go through, we usually won't leave a voicemail message. We'll text them back. So a lot of people just would rather read a text, but also make it personal. So it's the same thing with the emails. We're not, except for the reminders. So the initial emails that go out are personalized email. So it'll be, hi, Chantel, hope you and the kids are doing well, and trying to make it personal, because everyone gets too many bulk emails.
Or a video text, like you can say, you literally record one video text, and then you could literally text that out. If you are more of an introvert and you don't want to make those calls, you could do one really good one and text it out.
Yeah, you certainly could. I mean, to me, it's what I stress with my agents is making it personal. Yes, it takes more time, but the results are infinitely better, because it really, you're showing that you care. And if you want them to care about you, well, then you need to show that you're caring about them. And a lot of times opportunities will come up too, just in conversations, where they'll think, oh, my mother-in-law, her health isn't doing good. Maybe you wouldn't mind, after the party, come by and just let us know what you think the house could be worth so we can start making a plan. And so little things come up that wouldn't come up if it was just a bulk email or a bulk text sent out, like just making that connection.
So these wine and scotch tasting, I have heard, are kind of the two big things that people are actually really attending right now. And, it seems like, let's talk about pretty easy, right? You just get a really great whiskey or a great scotch or some great wine. You can get kind of partner with someone who like sells the wine, like an organic wine, like, Scout and Cellar or something like that. They'll provide the wine and can do that. Anything else that you've done that's been really successful that has been the lowest cost, but the biggest bang for your buck?
Good question. I think, and I know a lot of agents do it as well, is the pies for Thanksgiving. So we'll do about 600-700 pies in Thanksgiving, but same thing. We use a local company for the pies, so people know that we're supporting local, as well as the agents will deliver them themselves or with help of family. So it becomes a big week, or if you say 2 weeks leading up to it, because they're calling, they're scheduling. But each agent only giving out me of approximately 50 pies, which is a fair bit to in one day. But there's a lot of value again to not only making the call. People are pretty receptive about getting the free pie, and then actually getting in front of them saying, "Here, Chantal, here's your pie. Happy Thanksgiving." And then it's we also have a little, I say a little bit, but I feel we carry a little bit of celebrity presence in our city. So when people are talking, they can say, "Well, yeah, but so and so dropped off a pie for me, for Thanksgiving." We know that they're these, real estate agents that we see all over. I can't believe they came to my house and did this for me.
Yeah. So let's talk about time blocking, because I think people are struggling right now with where to spend their time. And so I'd love for you to talk a little bit about, okay, where should they be spending the majority of their time right now to get the biggest bang for their buck, and how they should time block?
That's always a big question. For me personally, and I guess I keep on going back to it, because for all the new agents that come through that, don't have a big budget for marketing, it's almost, I see some agents coming like, "Well, I want to get a billboard, or I want to get a bus bench," and they spend their money on that, and it ends up being a zero result, because it's just it just doesn't penetrate the market enough. Usually, we're talking, taking the new agent and making phone calls to their sphere of influence, by far the best bang for your buck, or going out in your local neighborhood and really having that laser focus to the local neighborhood that you're in, or you want to specialize in. And is just opposed to trying to go really wide with the marketing, just be very focused on what you're doing.
So as far as the number of calls with the new agents, let's say a new agent's coming along and they're going to follow back up with old leads. I want you to go over the exact script that they're going to say, and how many phone calls that they need to be making per day to be able to be successful on the phone.
I know a lot of my friends have, we're not that structured on the phone call side. I know a lot of my friends, top agents, will have, "Here's your script. This is what you have to do. This is what you have to call." We don't have the same number of leads that we have. We don't have 500 leads coming in a day to call, kind of thing. So it's for us, it's more focused. Before anybody will even get on our team, we'll make sure that they have, as I referred to our top 50 before. And so we'll really drill down on the top 50. And the reason why we go with 50 is because if we look at, say, your Facebook friends, you may have 4,000 Facebook friends, but how many of them are really friends, and how many are really in a situation where they're going to send you business? And so we focus in on that top 50, because that's the ones we want to be in the best communication with. And it's not just giving them calls, but it's also taking them out for lunch or looking for ways and opportunities to help people. And so that's what we focus on them, because that's where you're going to get your business from. So if you have 50 people and each one of them is going to give you one deal a year, that's a pretty good business just from that without anything else.
Yeah, that's great. Anything that you're doing else that you can talk about as far as converting the leads that you currently have? Because I really want to stay on that, because I am really concerned that people they're just trying to spend more money on new leads coming in, and they don't need to spend more money on new leads coming in. They just need to work the leads that they already have. So let's just do a role play, me and you. If we were going to be the past client, I had come in 8 months ago. I would like you to do a role play for how to get me back engaged in the market if I was a seller.
Well, I don't have so you would be my friend, Chantal, and you are my friend, and we're going to talk about, how you're doing, and not focus as much on real estate. And then inevitably it's going to come to real estate. And what we're saying right now is that, yes, or I guess not now, we're always saying it's a good time to be doing something, because it is always a good time to be doing something. It doesn't matter what the market's doing, right? The right buys are there. If you're working with the right people, the right buys are there. And so I'm going to be in touch with you. If I see something good coming up, Chantal, I'm going to make sure we're talking about it, because I don't want you to lose I had a client, and I guess, sorry for kind of being a little bit all over the place, but we had a client where I called him and said, here's a good buy. He didn't take it. And someone else got it. They made $20,000 on it within a month. And I feel bad for you that I wasn't able to give you that same opportunity. So when these deals come up, I'm going to make sure that you're my first call to get on that.
So that's a good point. Talking to people, like having some investment properties in your back pocket and saying, hey, I didn't know if you were thinking about investing in real estate right now. I just had a good deal pop up. You can go into the MLS right now and find a good deal and just start calling about to all your past clients, because anyone could say, okay, listen, I want to help you invest in real estate.
Yeah. It's telling the story. We feel like telling that way. Like a lot of times we won't say the actual name because they may have mutual friends, but we'll say, I had a friend that looked at this house. We weren't sure about it because of the way the market is, but is able to go into it, fix up. We put it back with our marketing on as opposed to the other agent's marketing. And we made through $20,000 in a month. Is that something that you'd be interested in? And everyone's always nice, definitely. So, but a lot of times when we call, like if I talk to you and you say, yeah, definitely, I'll let me know when those deals are coming up, I'll call you back. But the timing might not be right for you. So we'll end up going through just a list of everybody to call and touch base. And then we're touching base with purpose and with the intention of helping you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all of our agents and our brokerages, everyone is so friendly and they allow everyone to market their listings. So even if you don't have any listings right now, you should be marketing your friend's listing and kind of acting like it's your listing without saying so. Like, this is an amazing house, just listed. You're not saying you're just listing it, and start promoting those listings within the company, even if they're not yours. So people are thinking, hey, this person is busy. Yeah. Any other tips that you want to give people? We're almost out of time. That would be a good tip that you've done that's been very successful on social media or on anything else that you've done that's been great.
Well, just to bounce back on that same line, we create a WhatsApp group within our each brokerage, so that if an agent has a good listing that's come to market that clients can make money off of, they'll put it into the chat group. And it also works in the second way too, is if we have agents that are in competition, where they're going to competing against 5 or 6 agents, where we definitely know the client's selling, we'll put it out in that group so that if someone has a buyer, possibly we can get that buyer in there before they finish interviewing with all the agents. And that's been successful as well.
That's great. Well, this has been awesome. Everyone show some love for our special guest, Allan. Thank you so much. And Allan, if you'll type in the chat and let people know where they can find you and where they can follow you, that would be great. And thank you again for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good luck out there, everybody.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a rating and a review so we can get this out to more agents. And tune in next week for another power-packed episode. This is the Millionaire Real Estate Podcast.